celebrated, and Nefertiti is like, the entire year is my birthday. I am royalty. Veronica, how do you feel right now?
I feel good because it
Nefertiti.
makes me different, it gives me a different perspective. And I know some people make a big deal out of birthdays, some don't, but I think it's just great to celebrate ourselves whenever we get a chance, whether we do it with other people or whether we do it by ourselves, but just acknowledging ourselves. And
Or Nora coming back in
since it
50s.
only happens once a year, valuing, appreciating ourselves.
Well, this year is gonna be epic. You are coming to New Hampshire at my dance studio, and we're gonna party away.
All right, we're coming back to the show. Hang on one second. Wait for it.
With a question or comment, please call 1-866-472-5788. That's 1-866-472-5788. Or send an email to Forbes at ForbesRiley.com. Now back to the show. Here's Forbes Riley.
Hey, you guys, it is Forbes Riley. It's pre-birthday day, the day before the one time a year that is my day. As one of my friends in New York had just said, it's a national holiday when it's your birthday. Why not celebrate? I've got Nefertiti who joined in, who is now choosing to dance with all of New England. She's like, come to my studio, it's my birthday. We're getting everyone to wish. Some of my fun students have opted in to join me to celebrate, to share their thoughts in an effort. It's nice to celebrate my birthday, and I appreciate all of you guys doing that. But I think the conversation is bigger than that. You all have one. You all have that one special day, and I'm here to remind you today to appreciate it, to enjoy the getting older process, because there is no other choice. You're either here or you're not. You embrace the numbers, embrace the knowledge, embrace the wisdom that comes with age. And yes, embrace the wrinkles, but go buy some skin cream. Because while we should get old, nobody should look old. Renee Fong, pop on up here and share some love.
Hey, Forbes, happy birthday. So excited to be here celebrating with you.
Well, you are such a blessing. You've been through some fun trainings with me over the last probably almost 2 years. What's something that stands out about the community and the work that you've done with me?
Well, what stands out about the community is we're a family. We truly, genuinely care about each other. We're supportive, we're encouraging. Everybody's there to support it, to be there for everybody. And it's been really fun to be able to meet some people that don't live near us, and we get together and we find a way to get together. So that's been really nice.
How about business wise? Because that's at the end of the day, we're not a social club, although some days we are. We are a business minded entrepreneurial, because that's how I think every day, all day. That when you're out there making magic happen, making money for yourself, for other people, it means you're moving products and ideas forward, right? How are you doing
Right.
in your world?
Well, I'm doing fantastic now that I've gone through your pitching programs. I've done quite a few classes, and it gained me the confidence that I needed to be able to present myself and my business to people, and to put myself out there to reach out and help people, because that's truly what my goal of my business is. The making an income is a nice side perk, but to be able to help others to meet their needs and help them earn incomes as well, to help their families in any way they can, is the best part. And being part of your family has allowed me to be way more confident in reaching out to people that I don't know.
And I love that, guys. I love the concept of signature story, that you had something happen in your past, good, bad, or indifferent, but it set you on the path that you're doing now. And I'm going to urge all of you throughout this year, and it'll be a great birthday gift to me for you next year to say, wow, I took your advice and I up leveled and I'm happier. I'm happier and more successful, which doesn't necessarily mean financially, although sometimes it does. But what does it mean to be happier and more successful? And for me, that is growing my network of friends and this word family. Turns out I didn't have much of a family growing up. I kind of knew that. And there's moments when it gets a little odd. And we all have our own oddity. Let's call it that. It's not an issue. Some of us have had crazy things happen when we were children. For me, it's just not having a family outside of my nuclear family. That I had my mom, dad, and sister. No aunts and uncles, no cousins, no anything, which was just so. When I come to like meet Joshua and I hear stories of the grandparents and the family reunions and the cousins, I can't relate to any of that. And as I was growing up, I realized there was a little piece of my personal puzzle that was missing. And I'm going to say that you all have a personal puzzle. You could have 5 pieces, you could have 5,000 pieces, depending on how big or little you view your own personal puzzle. But when you look at the puzzle, is there a piece missing? And it's a funny thing because whenever you've ever done a puzzle, you finish it, and if there's just one piece missing, you didn't finish it. It looks weird, doesn't it? It's got a hole in it somewhere. And that's how I feel about life at the moment, that there are puzzle pieces, and some of them are interchangeable. You can take the love of your life, and it could be a different love of your life, and that's cool. That fits in that puzzle piece just fine. But if there's no relationship and you want one, that's a hole in your puzzle. And I'm wondering, is, your business life, how are you fulfilled? Are you successful? That's a puzzle piece. And I would love to see the puzzles all put together. I would love to say, Forbes, I've got my puzzle done, and it's really lovely, and I can't wait to keep growing it. But there's no glaring holes in it. And for me, the hole was over in the family corner. Especially when I had 2 beautiful babies. My daughter turned to me when she was younger at some point, and I was a little sad because I was going through a personal love life transition. And she's like, Mommy, don't you love us? I'm like, of course I love you. She said, but how come we're not enough? And I got really sad because I realized that they weren't enough. They didn't fill the puzzle piece. They filled the puzzle piece of kids, but they didn't fill the family love puzzle piece. And apparently there were like 3 pieces missing. One was my romantic partner. That was missing for a long time. Now, not everybody feels to need that. I'm going to tell you, I think we're a lot like swans. You need a puzzle piece there. Then it was the kids, and then it was my extended family. And so when I fell in love with Joshua, I'm like, oh my gosh, that piece fits so nice. The kids fit so nice, but I kept looking at the puzzle, and there was a big piece missing. And I urge you to look and dissect your puzzle, because the piece that's missing is the only one that has to be filled, if that makes sense. Because otherwise, the other pieces can't grow and be what they are. So while I had that one, now I'm in love with somebody and so passionate, and kids and so passionate, but I was still unhappy. What's going on here? How happy do you need to be? Well, when I looked at it as a puzzle, it became very glaringly important that I wanted family. I wanted a network of people that I could call on and tell stories to and listen to and love on and share birthdays with, because that's what family does. And if you're listening to this broadcast, I'm going to start crying, because the people who showed up today and who are going to show up tonight and who show up just every Wednesday for me or in my classes have become family. And you can define it any way you want. You do not have to be born that way. And Aaron, yes, is my puzzle complete? It is. It really, ooh, I don't want to cry. If you cry on your birthday, apparently you cry every year after that, every day after that. Isn't that the issue? That's why I didn't put makeup on. My puzzle is complete. And that's funny, because once the puzzle is complete, it grows. Your puzzle is a living thing. And so in the acting part of my puzzle, it's kind of funny as I'm saying this, Val, I've never really said this analogy before, but I'm feeling it. There's this thing called acting that I've done a lot in the past, and it wasn't missing, it was just gray. Is that valid? Like it got less vibrant. And so when you look at your puzzle, the pieces that aren't vibrant need some attention, but they're always there. And in that case, I got a movie. And I did a movie a couple of months ago. Guess what, guys? I got another movie. I'm doing a movie in Albuquerque in the beginning of July. I love doing that, but I let that piece get quiet while I was building up my university and my trainings and my courses. And so it's kind of like a garden. If you don't water and tender the entire garden, some will die. And it's okay for some pieces to die. It's okay to take out some pieces and make the puzzle a different shape. That's the funny thing about it. You don't always have to have all the pieces you've always had. And so, but they all have to be nurtured to stay in the puzzle. And if you don't want them anymore, that's okay. I don't ski. For example, I used to love skiing. Oh my gosh. I skied every mountain in this country because I loved it so much. I did stand-up comedy at ski resorts. I was crazy. Well, I broke my knee many years ago. I've gone skiing since, and it was so painful and so hard that I think I've just had to remove the puzzle piece of skiing and put it over there and love on it, but I don't need it in my puzzle anymore. And actually not having it in my puzzle makes my puzzle be better. Because when it was there, it would gnaw at me going, don't you want to go skiing? I'm like, no, I can't go skiing. Leave me alone. I can go snowmobiling. So it's an interesting, I'm going to have to teach my new puzzle course. Anna J. Lewis, you popped up here. Talk to me.
I had to struggle to get here, Forbes, but I made it. Thank you so much, Val, for sending me the link. I was listening to the podcast, but I wanted to see everybody. And Val sent me the link, so I got in here. Thank you, thank you. I've been running behind time on everything. I missed the breakthroughs. Like I feel like FOMO. Oh my goodness. Get it together, girl. I'm so happy to be here. Happy birthday, Forbes, tomorrow. We're celebrating you today, tomorrow, all month. Go on with your blessed self.
I just love you. You want to hear something really funny? I had a chance to meet the guy who started Essence magazine. And you know what I said to him? I like pouted out my lips. I'm like, are you telling me I can't be on the cover? And then I had a girl the other day. Is this an insult? Would you get insulted? We were dancing, we were doing whatever at this event, and she walks up to me. She's from Venezuela, and you dance good for a white girl. I'm like, how do you even know what I am and what I'm not? How dare you insult me? That's like saying you look good for 64. No, screw you. I look good for 46.
Yes. I love it.
So what's your definition of family, my beauty?
Family is the center of everything for me. Well, I'm the kind of person that has to have someone around. If I'm by myself all the time, I miss family. And I'm so thankful that I have an extended family, someone that I can pick up the phone and call and talk to my brother or my sister. I can call and talk to my nieces or my children or my grandchildren. It's a blessing to have those connections. And the best thing about it is, like you said, the puzzle grows, the family grows, because you guys are my family. And I'm so happy to be here with my extended family. There's so much love and I feel it. And I'm returning it, and I'm just thankful, so thankful for all of you.
So can you imagine if you didn't have one? Like I don't have any nieces or nephews, which is kind of weird. I have lots of people that I grew up with. But what do you think about the art of creating a new family?
Your family doesn't have to be flesh and blood, okay? They don't have to be kin folks. They don't have to be born into that family. Your family is whoever you can bring into your heart. I believe that. So no one can be without a family. If you truly want a family, open your heart and people will come.
Oh, that's a new t-shirt. Somebody write that down. If you want a new family, just open your heart. I love that. And then, Lise Robinson, you're going to make me cry. Your parents are sending you birthday wishes from heaven. I'm sure they are. Man. Jan Allen, I can't talk right now because I just got Lee saying something really. Come on up here, Miss Jan.
I understand how that can choke you up because always on my birthday, I spend time thinking about my mother because without her and what she went through, I would not be here. And when she was alive, I used to always send her roses because, again, the day was bigger than me. And then probably we talked about some of your best birthdays. She used to make a special cake for me every year. And when my birthday day was during school, they'd send cupcakes back when you could do all that kind of stuff back before there was all the restrictions. And then I brought my daughter home after having her on my birthday.
You had your daughter on your birthday?
I had her 2 days before, but we came home from the hospital.
Wow.
So it was that close and totally not planned because the thing is then for many years after that, I always planned to make her birthday so super special that by the time it got to mine, I was like, oh God, just you know. But yeah, birthdays are special. I went through a period because and this really has been a healing in your last I you did a breakthrough class because you broke me through while we were doing everything. The tears flowed, and because in the last years, because I can admit, because I worked in an industry of youth and still work around a lot of youth, but it's like I'm 66 now. Last month I turned 66. And it was horrifying for me for years. And so that was my
Wait,
goal
what was horrifying?
to be 66. It was like,
You know what's so funny about that, guys? If you're watching this on, or you're listening to this podcast on whatever platform, you got to pop over to YouTube and look at Forbes celebrates her birthday 2024. Because Jan looks like she's in her 40s with this beautiful long blonde hair and this beautiful face. Did you break through the idea that you're not old?
yeah, I know that I'm not old, but it was acknowledging. My whole thing is I don't think I am, but then when I look at my years and and the direction of where I'm starting over again, I get lost in time. And this year, my goal was to finally not hide and admit my age. Because since I was probably 55, I would not admit my age.
I know, well, because it's a thing that you're not supposed to say your age, right? And
Well,
you're embarrassed
yeah.
by it. I get it. It's a societal thing. There are moments when I say it on stage, sometimes I don't want to say it because the people are so young that when I heard the word 50 when I was 20, I thought, oh man, you're old. You start hearing 60 and you're like, and then I just look at it going, do I look like your grandmother? Do I sound like grandma? But you have to be very mindful because we all have these stigmas
Mhm.
in place with numbers. And while people say, oh, it's just a number, now it'd be nice if it was just a number, but it's a really big freaking number. But then you have to flip it on the other side. I walked around, and it's so funny. Birthdays just make me think about this. I was walking around yesterday, and I'm like, you're going to celebrate it for the 64th freaking time. I don't celebrate it. That's a lot of number. That's so freaking cool. And you've got to start changing the paradigm.
Mhm.
I don't really care. And you know what? Here's the deal. If you want to feel old, talk to a really young person. Because there is an attitude today, and maybe it was that way with the establishment and hippies way back when I was a kid too. But young people like to make you feel old. Like my daughter was, Mom, you're so old. I'm like, no, I've been here a lot longer than you have. I know more than you. Knock that off. So Jan, I love you for being part of this. That's so funny that you and your daughter are that close. I had a thought that I never really thought about before either. Is this weird? I have twins. I know I have twins, but do I remember I have twins? Do you know they never get their own birthday? And I thought, I wonder if that's an issue. I never really focused on it before. And I think I know the answer. I think they love, and I used to do that all the time. We'd have one of the early birthdays. It was in our big garage. She had a princess birthday and he had a Power Rangers birthday. And it was very separate clothes and characters and cups and saucers and all those fun things you do for kids. But it's a different experience going through life, sharing that day with someone that none of us have had to experience. So that's kind of interesting, don't you think? Miss Lise Robinson, my grief warrior, my woman who makes us smile, and you just made me cry. Come on up here.
Hi, Forbes. I am feeling like I need to tell you this. A little message from heaven that your parents are very proud of you, and happy birthday not only to you, but to them for creating such a beautiful gift from the world. And we just feel their energy in you, and I know that they are just a whisper away whenever you want to talk to them. And I'm sure they're showering you with gold dust from the heavens so that you could be with all of us. you became better than some of their situations that they were in, and you are the living example of what they wish they could have done for you when you were growing up. So you broke through your own self to be here, and they brought you to us to heal. As you know, half my family is gone, basically. And it's like they're so much closer because they're right there. I don't even need a phone. I don't need no gadgets, nothing. I just talk to them and they're there.
I
I
love
have that direct connection just like you do. So I feel their presence here, and thank you to your parents for gifting the world with Forbes Riley, because you've changed all of our lives. And as a rippling effect, I'm sure it's going to affect the next generations to come, even with your children and the world.
I love you for downloading that. I was at an event one day in Napa Valley, and a woman I'd never met before walks up to me and she simply said, "Your mom is real proud of you." And at that moment, I had just lost my mom, and I'm like, "Excuse me?" And it comes to hear that she's very connected, and it was just a beautiful, beautiful thing to hear. I'm going to evoke somebody's spirit just to wash over all of you. I think everyone had a chance to speak. Maybe Sukabuki hasn't yet. I was lucky enough to meet a woman that you guys have not met. Her name is Frances, and Frances is my birth name is Francine. Which, by the way, if you go online, there's some celebrations. You can find Happy Birthday Francine. I didn't know you could find Happy Birthday Forbes. Somebody made a Happy Birthday Forbes out there. And I was doing a birthday party at my house. And God bless Frances Diaz, who had lost her sight at some point. She had 3 grown kids that she raised on her own. She was a spunky woman. And when she met me, it was before Forbes Riley was Forbes Riley. Forbes Riley was somebody who wanted to be Forbes Riley. And it's my birthday. We're doing a little party in my house. Facebook has just come out, which is showing you how old this is. And we're upstairs in my beautiful closet. And I'm putting on a little house dress. I'm having some people over for birthday, right, Veronica? Just no big deal. And she's like, "Oh, no, that's not what Forbes Riley would wear." I'm like, no, it is what Forbes Riley is wearing. She's like, "Oh, no. And she pulls this dress out of my closet that I could never have the courage to leave the house in because it was skin tight, bright, like purple and orange flowers, crisscross. My boobs were pushed up to my neck, and I looked like, I looked pretty hot. Charo over. And I never wanted to leave the house in it because it's physically uncomfortable with your boobs that like squished. You're like, "Hello, I'm all cleavage." And I'm like, "What am I doing?" She's like, "Forbes Riley," in her Puerto Rican act, Forbes Riley would wear that. I'm like, "Forbes Riley's uncomfortable in this." She's like, "But you look good. And people on Facebook don't know. We're going to make it look like you're having the biggest party ever." And I'm like, "I just want a small little party." She's like, "Forbes Riley doesn't want a small party." I'm like, "Okay." I go to go downstairs, and I'm not wearing any shoes. If you've ever met me, I run around barefoot all the time. And she's like, "What are you wearing on your feet?" I'm like, "Nothing." She's like, "Forbes Riley wouldn't do that." I'm like, "Forbes Riley is doing that." So she picks out these stilettos and she's like, "That's what Forbes Riley is wearing." I'm like, "Forbes Riley can't walk in these things." She's like, "But you're going to look good and you're going to look great on Facebook." So I waddle down the stairs, and my then husband says to the two of us, right as we're ready to do the party, "You girls need to go get ice." I'm like, "Excuse me?" He's like, "Look, the party's starting." By the way, where we lived was like 20 minutes down the road from the grocery store. So the two of us, flustered, get in the car. We go to the parking lot at Publix, is the name of the grocery store. And I look at Erin, I'm like, do you have any money on you?" And she's like, "I ain't got no money." Just her attitude, "I ain't got no money." And I'm like, "Well, what do I do?" And she looks at me and she sees a guy over there by a truck. And I said, "What am I supposed to do? Work the parking lot?" Wearing high heel stilettos and a dress that has way too much cleavage. I get out of the car. I can barely get out of the car. And I walk over to him and he does one of these. He looks me up and he looks me down. And I'm like, "Hi, this is so embarrassing. Look, it's my birthday. Could I borrow $10 to get ice? I'll pay you back." Imagine some woman walking up to the parking lot saying this. He looks at me and he says, "Do you see the cop over there?" I'm like, no, I don't want to get arrested on my birthday. I'm not a hooker. No. And he said, no. He said, "I accidentally backed into that gentleman's car. They're taking my statement. What is it that you want?" I'm like, oh my God, it's my birthday and I forgot my purse at home. I just need ice. And he looked at me and he says, can I get your phone number? And I said, my husband won't like that, but yes. And then I asked him, I'm trying to make some small talk because he's fishing for money. I said, what do you do? And he's like, I'm a DJ in a strip bar. I'm like, of course you are. Of course you are. And Frances is laughing her ass off. She is in the car, giggling, having the time of her life. We get to the party and it is beautiful and it is blessed and there's balloons and my kids are there and there's friends and it's great. The next morning, it is Easter and she stuffed Easter eggs and the kids walk downstairs. And one of my favorite memories of McKenna is she comes up to my bedroom, she looks out the window in the backyard and she looks at me with this grumpy push of hers. She's like, there's no Easter eggs. I can't see anything out there. You think he just forgot about us? And then I said, it was cold last night. And I said, I don't know if I closed the downstairs living room door. Why don't you go down the stairs? Maybe he came in through the back door. I don't know. She comes downstairs and there are eggs everywhere in the living room. Frances covered the living room and this little girl is once again ignited that magic is possible in the world, calls her brother, starts screaming. They go downstairs. They can't wait to start opening Easter eggs. Frances made my life so special and blessed and wonderful. Week after that, I go to LA from Florida to do a speech. Spin Gym is going to be an infomercial. Somebody has offered to pay $350,000 to fly me and my daughter over to the UK to shoot this huge infomercial. I'm leaving on that next Sunday. I'm so excited. I get to my house in California, 6:00 in the morning, the phone rings. It's my ex-husband who says, I'm really sorry to tell you, but Frances died last night. She had an asthma attack standing on the stoop of her son's house. He had a dog. She had an attack. I couldn't get anyone to help her. She couldn't breathe, and she's gone. And so I said that story because, one, we talk about people watching out for you. And I feel that beautiful woman almost every day. I love that we have the same name. It just reminds me that life is amazing. And it is over in a heartbeat. So the moral of the story, love on each other because it makes great stories. And it's all that we get to do in this life is to be there for each other, to uplift, to love. And Lise, do you have any thoughts on that subject as the grief warrior specialist?
I think it's very
You're welcome.
important to
Have a great day, Forbes.
love.
Oh, my show is over. Oh. Bye, Jordan. It's already top of the hour. I was so busy telling the story, I completely spaced. Jordan, thank you.
Have a great rest of your
Okay, bye, my guys. Thank you. But we're not over on YouTube. I lost all track of time there.
I just want to say a message that love is endless and it's infinite. And when we look at life and death, we also need to know that we have a rites of passage here and that our energy fields do not ever die. Everybody the scientists even have proven this, that it's infinite. That's why it's so important to chart our milestones in this life so that the next generations have something to connect from the past, the present, and the future. That's why it's so important to do a legacy type of book, even your biography now, so that people know some of the milestones that you've gone through. And I know that I am going to make this statement to all of you to start writing your beautiful stories because somebody has to learn from you because you live